The characters in Chicago Fire aren't playing around. They encounter emergencies on a weekly basis that'd cause the typical person to lose it. Part of what makes the show so good is the amazing cast, but are they able to back up their acting chops with some genuine firefighting skills? That's what we're going to see in today's video, so let's dive in. First off, are any Chicago Fire actors real firefighters? Let's just say whether you're fighting real fires or ones on screen, you're going to need training. All the main cast members undergo a rigorous training regimen before they're allowed to use actual firefighting equipment on screen. And to make it all as authentic as possible, they're trained by the real Chicago Fire Department. Plus, the cast has to do drills before going on duty, which is quite similar to the ones junior firefighters have to carry out. That said, aside from the on-set training, none of the main cast members have any actual prior experience as firefighters. But they're still able to provide a very strong sense of realism, and that's because they make the effort to cast genuine firefighters in the background and supporting roles. Tony Ferreras, who plays Tony from Squad 3 in the show, is the finest example of this. Ferreras, while talking to Wolf Entertainment, said that the increased amount of screen time he received was almost by mistake. While talking to the press, he said that he'd started out as an extra, and then series showrunner Derek Haas approached him around episode 5 or 6 and asked him to read a couple of lines. Pretty impressed with his delivery, they started writing him more and more into the show. That's quite the career trajectory, isn't it? Ferreras has since then appeared in a total of 174 episodes of the show, with other appearances in the series spin-offs too. He's become one of the most essential members of the fictional Firehouse 51 showcased in the television series, while also playing a somewhat similar role in real life. Now that's dedication. Next up, what's the training procedure that the cast has to go through? While the cast may be acting on screen, all the training shown on Chicago Fire is completely legit. Besides their great acting chops, they do seem to have some firefighting skills to back up their resumes, and it seems much of this was because of the difficult training process they were put under. According to Entertainment Tonight, this required wearing protective gear, entering smoke-filled rooms, prying open doors, and even utilizing instruments like the jaws of life to rip apart real cars. Yeah, we weren't kidding when we called it rigorous. One of the actors revealed in an interview with Sci-Fi Vision that the cast got training a couple of weeks before the start of the show. He said they all got there in early March for training, and they had around 2 weeks of rehearsals, prep, and ride-along with prospective companies. He also added that his character was on the rescue squad, so he got to meet up with some guys from Squad 5 down in Inglewood. The actor spent a day with them doing ride-along and Squad 3 in the city. He also went through a training regimen at the Fire Academy with Steve Chikarotis. Steve serves as one of the advisors on their show, and he's the battalion chief in Chicago. His experience and his knowledge have been invaluable for the show's script, so it's clear that there's a lot of work that goes into making a show feel as authentic as possible, both on screen and off. No wonder it's got 11 seasons and counting. Moving on to one of the most surprising things about the training. One of the lead actors, Taylor Kinney, reportedly shared one of the most baffling experiences he went through during his training, and it's not something that you'd think would be tough to do initially. Kinney said that he was tasked with clearing a room and gear. The main part of the gear was the suit, which weighed around 65 pounds. Taylor said he'd been thrown into a room filled with smoke. He couldn't see anything, and he was shocked to his senses. The actor was in disbelief at the situation, and not just that, but also the fact that these firefighters are able to walk out of situations like these really surprised him. Not only do they have to keep their senses in check, but they often have to find victims who may be stuck in the fire while trying to put it out. It's a task that requires a level of dedication and courage that we're sure not a lot of us have. And while he was put in that position quite briefly, it still allowed Taylor to have acquired newfound respect and admiration for firefighters, even more so than what he may have had before. Lastly, Chicago Fire also hires real firefighters on set for advice. Of course, professional assistance is still required after the training. On set, there are firefighters who work as advisors. Jesse Spencer, who plays Matthew on the show, told Sci-Fi Vision that he thinks one of the best things is that the firefighters are just always on set, and they're usually coming from a shift the day before or getting ready to go to one the next day. They get a pretty beautiful cross-section of the real folks performing the real work as they swap out and change, and he believes that's been quite beneficial to them. It allows them to see the firefighters in action while also receiving advice on how to better portray some scenes. Looks like this is one set that's not going to have any fire problems anytime soon. If you're wondering why so many firefighters are fans of this show, this is why. They really go the extra mile to make things look as close to the real thing as possible. In other news, firstly, numerous movies and TV shows are being pulled by HBO Max from the streaming service. HBO Max, a platform run by Warner Brothers Discovery, is eliminating around 36 of its films and TV shows. By the end of Friday, the movies and TV shows, which include 20 original HBO Max programs including the teenage thriller Generation and the Sesame Street spinoff The Not Too Late Show with Elmo, will be taken down. The choice was made before Warner Brothers Discovery announced its intention to combine Discovery Plus and HBO Max into a new service that will debut in the United States in the middle of 2023. The company states that they'll be changing the content available on HBO Max and Discovery Plus Plus as they continue to merge their content libraries into a single platform. There's a ton of underutilized episodes and movies available on streaming services, so it may seem unusual for HBO Max to delete a series created especially for the platform. From the looks of it, the cuts are being made for three major reasons: cost cutting, a shift away from family-friendly programming, and service decluttering. Executives can quickly reduce costs by getting rid of these movies and TV shows, especially the ones HBO Max made rather than licensed. These content eliminations in total will save tens of millions of dollars, according to inside sources familiar with the matter. But we'll just have to wait and see how it really ends up panning out. Next up, The Last of Us TV series finally gets the first teaser. HBO has released the first preview for the upcoming TV series adaptation of The Last of Us, which stars Pedro Pascal's Joel, Bella Ramsey's Ellie, and others. The teaser appears as a part of a video that showcases a couple of HBO's upcoming shows. Along with The Last of Us, there's footage from The Idol, Succession, The White Lotus, The White House Plumbers, Industry, and others. Along with Joel and Ellie, we see Joel's daughter Sarah, Bill, a clicker stuck in a wall, and possibly even Frank. The tease begins in winter when Ellie says that everyone she had cared for has either died or left her. Joel responds that she's got no idea what loss is. We see other scenes, including a heartbreaking one from the beginning of the game that we won't spoil. Joel training Ellie to use a gun, and more. It's brief, but it gives us a good sense of the tone they're going for with this series. We still don't have an official release date for The Last of Us on HBO, but we do know it will be in 2023. Lastly, HBO has released a new trailer for The Idol, its upcoming drama series. The majority of the news headlines involving HBO this month have been alarming at best and negative at best. Employees are being laid off, shows are fading into obscurity, even Sesame Street is tweeting about them. It's probably a relief to HBO's social team to be able to change the subject, if only for a moment. There's a new trailer for The Idol. The Idol was co-created by Abel the Weekend Tesfaye, nightlife entrepreneur Reza Fahim, and Euphoria creator Sam Levinson, and it's still coming soon. The plot describes the relationship of an LA cult leader and a rising pop star. That's a wrap for this video. Which part of Chicago Fire's cast training surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.